you should take a solo weekend away. Peace and quiet can be challenging to come by. There's always a deadline or meeting or someone who needs something from you. Prioritizing yourself just as much as your to-do list every once in a while can do so much for your mind, body, and soul. There's nothing better than driving out of town to a new city where you have zero obligations and going on airplane mode. Well, that's what I did for the weekend. I booked a stay at a desert cabin in Joshua Tree, 2.5 hours away from my home. I wanted to go off the grid, unplug, and be connected to nature. I'm kicking myself for never trying this before, and it's easily become a new priority. I have partnered with HURU to share with you this one weekend of refined stillness. HURU fosters a weekend away, providing nourishment, guided practices, and most importantly, rest. Rest is your right to do nothing but be. Upon arriving, I got a welcome package from the HURU team with some yummy snacks and a journal. Exploring the home was an absolute treat. The space is beautiful and intentional. My absolute favorite parts of the weekend was the food. When booking with HURU, you can share your dietary preferences, and before you even arrive, they have food for the entire weekend ready for you, so you can really lean into rest while feeling nourished. Once I got settled in, the sun was starting to set over the mountains and the evening was getting cooler. So I decided to kick off the retreat with being present and enjoying the nature around me in the heated pool. I loved taking the time to unplug and be on airplane mode. Aside from a few minutes filming here and there, I had virtually no screen time, which really helped me to be present and open. The light bouncing off the mountains was so beautiful, and just resting in nature with no agenda felt so rejuvenating. Once the sun set, I brought out my book and enjoyed the cool of the evening and the sound of the nature around me. I can't remember the last time I just sat down for a few hours to read a physical book instead of an audiobook. And I got so lost in reading that I only noticed it was night when it started to get hard to read. I put the book down and enjoyed being out of the city where I could actually see the stars. After rinsing off in the shower and getting into my desert outfit, I started on my first nourishing meal of the weekend, a vegan Moroccan stew. It was super easy to make, and I could just heat it up on the stove, which made me feel like I was working to put the meal together, but not too hard. In line with my goal for this retreat of being present, I wanted to practice mindful eating. Mindfulness is an intentional focus on one's thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations in the present moment. Eating mindfully means that you are using all of your physical and emotional senses to experience and enjoy the food with no distractions, no TV, no phone. This helps to increase gratitude for the food and makes it more satisfying and nourishing to the body. I ended the night with some journaling, checking in with myself, answering the question, how are you feeling in this moment? Reflecting on the rest and presence of the evening. Then I asked, what would your ideal life look like in the next 6 months, 1 year, and 5 years? I had been in such a chronic state of stress for the past few months that I couldn't even imagine what life could look like. But slowing down and allowing the stress to leave my body, I finally felt like I could dream again, imagining my ideal life for the future. I finished the night with more reading before heading to bed. The next morning, I woke up just before the sun peeked over the mountains and got to watch the sunrise and hear nature start to wake up. The rooster crowed, the bees were buzzing, and the birds were chirping. It was so quiet and serene, taking in the beautiful nature around me, just sitting and enjoying the moment. Such a simple, sweet joy of life being present. I journaled again, this time reflecting on the past. What are the gifts you've received from this last season of your life? While it was still cool in the morning, I hopped in the jacuzzi to enjoy quiet, silence, nature, and presence. Then did some more reflective journaling. What do I need to let go of to welcome what's coming? After a while, I switched over to reading until the desert started to do its thing and get real hot. I moved inside and heated up breakfast, a caramelized onion and chickpea frittata. I cut out a slice to warm up and made some chamomile tea while I waited, finding pockets of time where I usually grab my phone and scroll to instead be present turned out to be one of my favorite grounding practices. After changing into my breezy desert outfit as the day started to heat up, my frittata was ready for consumption. When I tell you this was the most amazing thing I've ever tasted, I kid you not. With potatoes, cherry tomatoes, puff pastry crust, and truffle bechamel. Reliving the moments of the first bites of this is such a beautiful thing. Coming back to mindful eating and bringing all of my senses into enjoying the food with no distractions, I realize how beautiful this practice can be. It can feel so awkward to go out to a restaurant and eat alone. Looking bored is so taboo. We try to connect over social media, but we are more lonely than the generations before us due to this false sense of connection. When we sit alone with ourselves, we get to know ourselves. This self-awareness allows for a deeper connection with others. Only when I can sit with myself and become aware of who I am, can I really share that deep part of myself with others. I grabbed some banana bread, meant for Saturday, and did some reflective journaling, finishing up my previous prompts. I curled up on the couch and grabbed my book and read for a few hours, which was glorious. I forgot how much I loved to read physical books. I elected for a guided practitioner with HURU, so the lovely Naomi came out to my retreat spot to lead me in guided meditation and yoga and movement. After the meditation, a lot of emotions were coming up, so we talked about it and cried about it and let it all go. Moving forward in some light movement as we let the body lead. Then we went on a walk to find this beautiful sun deck and finished off our movement session there. For lunch, I enjoyed this yummy Buddha bowl as I came back to mindful eating, letting the mushrooms, carrots, broccoli, tofu, zucchini, and rice nourish my body. For the afternoon, I wanted to paint. Painting helps me to be so present, especially when painting in the lines. I can't think about anything else but what's in front of me, and it's such a way to unwind and relax. I love being able to do this instead of turning on the TV after a long day, and it truly helps me feel relaxed after working. I made so much progress and finally finished after a couple of months of working on this canvas. Goodness. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It looks so good. A theme of this retreat turned out to be finishing the season of life I'm in to welcome the new one. By that time, the sun was setting and I went back to the hot tub to rest my muscles and read and enjoy the nature around me. Then I showered and got started on Friday night's dinner, which was a Thai red curry. I got the fire pit lit up and warmed up by the fire while I enjoyed my last dinner here on my retreat, reflecting on how beautiful an experience this has been and how present and at peace I feel. My last morning of the retreat, I had one more journaling session, coming back to my question from the first day: how are you feeling in this moment? Reflecting on the rest and presence of the entire weekend and the gratitude I feel for life and this experience. Then asking myself, what have I learned from this experience that I can bring back with me? Loving the practice of presence and being unplugged, I definitely have so much peace and love the idea of bringing that back into bits and pieces of my day-to-day. After finishing up my last journal session, I sat out and watched the sunrise, then meditated in the warmth of the sun and in silence, listening to the beautiful nature wake up around me. Yet again, basking in the beauty of the desert morning, the blue skies, the mountains, the crickets chirping, a dog barking, and I even caught sight of a roadrunner. I warmed up one more slice of my chickpea frittata and basked in the cool morning sun, mindfully eating while reminiscing on what a lovely experience this has been and how I seriously felt so lucky to have gotten this opportunity. Thank you, HURU, for providing such an amazing experience for people to reorient into a rhythm of rest. In line with a theme of my retreat, I enjoyed my last moments to finish my book, a perfect bookend to an awe-inspiring weekend. I packed up my bags and said farewell to my HURU house and headed out. Feeling complete, leaving what I needed to with the desert as I pave a new journey ahead in life. Thank you so much for joining me this restful weekend, and I hope it can inspire you to take a moment, a day, or even a weekend to have some solo time and prioritize rest in your life. If you've made it this far, make sure to like this video and comment below so more people can find my channel. And lastly, subscribe for more wellness content, and I'll see you in the next video.